What is New Girl about? I wish I had a copy of the book in my hand to be like, this is what New Girl is about. I'll show it to you. I'll read it to you. It's around here somewhere, but I don't feel like getting up. I think it's like literally right behind me up there. I did the deed. I put the effort in for you, and I got up and got it. This is New Girl. This is my book. That is my face. What is it about, though? So, the young woman that you see at the cover is the Queen of Nadia. With that title comes a lot of respect, a lot of money, but also a lot of enemies. Why? Because the King of Nadia, the Prince of Nadia, Morgan Leonticus Samara, has collected a lot of enemies with his life as a regulator, has collected a lot of enemies within his life as a businessman and being the head of the Gregor Company, or the vice president of the Gregor Company. And in New Girl, this is really your first introduction to Morgan, to this entire world of Nadia. And I think I took it very lightly when I first wrote the book. When I first wrote the book, as some would say, it feels like it can be in anywhere USA. And that's kind of the appeal that I'm going for with the Haven Chronicles, is that I want you to feel as if the Gaia universe is real. Like, I want you to feel as if you're in this world, as if you can be here and sit in these seats and see these people and you can look at what they're doing, you know? So Rumya comes from Maya, that's the water region. And specifically with her, how she makes into the overall story, is that her people have been defending something that most people don't think exists on the planet, that would never think exists because they've never seen it. And that's a gaping hole within reality from this fight between Ada and Nshishi from years before humanity is truly humanity, I would say. And you have a lot of other subspecies in which you had lions fighting hawks and things of that nature for the preservation of humanity, you know, until humanity came and started murdering all the mythical creatures. Maybe I should cut the video, or should I just keep going? Or keep going? I don't think I even properly explained the book. I think I'm on so many fucking tangents there that you probably had no complete understanding of what the book was fucking about. Do I re-record the video, or do I just keep going? I'm just gonna keep going. I'm not gonna edit it. I'm just gonna put it on YouTube or something. But really what I was going for this, if you made it this far, if you didn't cut it off already, is that Morgan is kind of like my retelling of the second coming of Christ, our Lord and Savior, but in a very graphic, sexual way that people of this generation would be able to accept it, just as the Bible for its time was a very graphic, very sexual book. This is kind of like that, you know. Not over the top in that way. Like, I'm not gonna blaspheme and say that Morgan is not Jesus. Morgan is what I think God has came up with in response to what? See, God doesn't react. God responds. You know, the devil reacts. He gets people riled up and upset into mobs and frenzies, and then the next day they don't even know what the fuck happened to them. God responds. You think something's happened. You think he's forgotten. You think he's letting things go. You think that you've gotten away with it. Here comes Morgan. And it's very telling because that's like the entire process of Morgan's kind of military career as an assassin is these people who feel like they've gotten away with murder, they've gotten away with buying the entire planet, basically. Here comes Morgan. But sadly, Morgan doesn't knock. He can literally just travel through space-time and off you without you knowing that you're dead. So Rumya meets this guy, you know. So she goes in. It's not a big giveaway. The first chapter, she goes in, and she's like, I imagine some of the girls I went to school with in this position, in which very beautiful girl and all that, but you're so riled up with liberal ideology and a value of self and having great parents and a great life and not having dignity and self-respect, and you think that you're just going to walk in and be a stripper and then it's just going to work out, you're going to be rich, and it's not like that at all. Just because they make it seem like that in Magic City, it's like a fucking pyramid scheme MLM shit. So she goes in there, but it's like, what I'm trying to convey and get across in that first chapter, she's a very important character in this book, you know. If you've read the book, you understand. If you've read past this point, you definitely understand. But if you haven't, then that's why you're watching this fucking video, you know. But she's able to rally these women into a liberal ideology frenzy of wanting self-respect and self-determination, you know, wanting to be valued as humans, to wanting to be respected, you know, and to be given the proper information of what is going on, and to go to a job interview in which there's a job at the end of the interview, you know, who the best applicant is. Obviously, he found his best applicants of what he wanted. Chauvinistically, I say. But in all in good fun, it's just an all around great book. It's not overtly sexual. It's really just kind of at the mindset that I was in when I was writing it. You know, I just got out of a relationship, played the field, did my thing. And it was just kind of a commentary of all that kind of stuff that, you know, I've been to strip clubs before and that kind of shit, but it's like I'm not into them. I say that honestly, like I'm really not into them at all. So it's like, what is, like, if you're 17 years old, you got a shit ton of money, 17, 18 years old, you got a shit ton of money, and you can do anything you want with it. Why would you not just have, like, half-naked women walking around you? Have a bachelor pad apartment with all these games and party shit and blah, 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 and giant TV for people to watch stuff on. And it's like, he's at the point in his life, and that's where I was at 17, where it's just like, none of this shit is fucking interesting. It's different when you're like, I guess, and this is like the introspection of, do I see myself as Morgan? And like, I don't, but I do in some ways, in which it's like I wrestled. Like, I didn't have like that normal kind of childhood and shit like that. I like wrestled the entire fucking time. It's not fucking fun. Just beating the shit out of each other every fucking day. You know, hey, nice to meet you. I'm just gonna be fucking slamming you in your head for the next few hours of our lives until we never see each other again. Or you meet someone for 6 minutes. It's the most intimate, humiliating, or glorifying 6 minutes of your fucking life. You know, and it could be great. It could be awful. You know. And I don't know, man. It's just, it's cool. It's cool, but when you deal with the mental shatterings of a kid like that, and how you're supposed to adapt in society, with that kind of like, this is what you're gonna do for the rest of your life is this violence, and this training and preparation for violence. And it's like I was faced with either just joining the military or selling myself to the devil, becoming like a politician or a lawyer or some shit like that. And obviously I didn't do it, and I'm grateful for it. I wish I had the money, but hey, come see, come see, my brother. All I'm really doing now with this book is just kind of like facing the understanding that like you have some control over your destiny, but that control over your destiny, like, let's say that you have 100% of people, everyone on the planet, and let's truly say that the top 5% of people are really the people that have had the ability to become aware of their human nature, to unlearn their human animalistic nature, and then to relearn wealth. And that doesn't consist of reading an endless amount of books. That consists of completely morphing the paradigm and habits necessary, to create that outcome. And that's kind of what begins in this book for Morgan, but it's something that you get to witness within Rumya, is that she's thrown into the frying pan. She's thrown, just like you are, she's thrown into this new world. She's somewhat more familiar with it than you are, but she's in the deep end with the sharks, and she sees this freaking barracuda who's afraid of nothing because he can kill anything. And this is the guy that she happens to fall in love with. So within that, it's also the commentary of just how so many young women are in love with the bad boy and your typical stoic male. But I wanted to show the other side of that because I was the poster boy for it, in some ways. But in other ways, it's like, like there's a whole different side to that when that kid goes home. That it's so mysterious and so quiet, there's a whole different side to that, and I wanted to really explore, these guys that women desire so deeply, having been one and then not wanting it. It's like, cause you see, it's like I see the guys now, and I feel for them. It's like you see all the things that you have to do to maintain that playboy lifestyle. You never truly gain connections with other people. But when you never really gain connections with other people, you never really understand deeper within yourself. The more people you meet, the more you can see yourself reflected back into you, because you can see how different you are from other people, but you can also see the similarities, but you can also strongly see how completely different you are from other people. And with Rumya and Morgan, that is never more apparent of how different she aspires to be like him and values traits that he has. But the entire book, she's just like, no. This is fun, this is great, and I like what you're doing here, but it's just. But then when you read on in the later books, she completely transforms this man's life. When you think of the question of which woman truly loves Morgan, who's Morgan going to choose in the end? It's kind of like The Bachelor in a way. But Rumya decides, if you have spoilers, honestly, if you've watched me talk for 15 minutes, then I don't think you give a fuck. I don't think you give a fuck. Plus the book's like $2.99. Like, just go buy a fucking book, man. Like, buy a print copy. I'll mail you one. It's not that big of a deal, man. Buy a book if you want a book. So spoilers, I warned you, but this is it. It's my last thing. But Rumi basically tells him, like, dude, you're not right within yourself. It's like if you really are the prince of Nadia, you know, and all these people that are depending on you, if you really are going to become the Lord Commissioner of the regulated regime, and you're going to have the power to just take over the entire planet anytime you want to, if you really are going to become the patriot, it's like, she's basically just like that woman in every man's life who you want so fucking bad, but neither of you are at that place and neither of you are ready. But also, she reflects and reveals to you everything that you need to become. Like, it doesn't matter which pathway you choose. She's basically telling you, right now, you will never get there. And that's powerful for a man. And a lot of women don't think it is, and they think it's harsh, or they think it's mean. No, it's transformative. It's like that one video of the skinny black kid, and then you show the picture of the white girl, then you show a picture of a jacked black kid, and they're like, how much did she hurt you? And then they show the black jacked kid, and it's like this much, and it's like, damn, that's a lot of fucking pain. Like, it's like this dude is in the fucking forest by himself, ready, like, he has all these other women that he can be with. And just because this one woman no longer wants him and no longer finds him valuable sexually, he's so distraught and so devastated. He goes to the fucking wilderness. Like, it's not funny. It's a very powerful chapter, but I'm just like, the profound, like, trueness of love. It's like, they say this. I said the last thing. This is my last thought. It wasn't my last thought in reference to the book. This is my last thought in reference to this video, and then I'm gonna stop the video entirely. Is that when you find your true love, you know, that's what I described before. Your true love is the person that you want more than anything. You know damn well in your heart when you're fucking the other person, male or female, and sometimes you don't do that. I don't do that. You know, I'm very attracted to my partner, but, you know, I've had other relationships where, like, in the passings of getting to the relationship I'm in now, where it's just, you feel like you're trying to redeem yourself constantly. And that's kind of your true love. Your true love isn't necessarily the person that you stick with. Your true love is the person that reveals to you all the changes that you need to make in your life. And it might hurt like fuck. And you might end up staying together forever. You know, that's why it's always represented as some kind of journey of a prince fighting a dragon or something like that. But, excuse me, in this story, you know, Prince is his dragon. And that's what brings you to the twin flame. You know, so if the true love, in essence, is opposition, the twin flame is a division of a soul that is searching for the other side, you know. And I'm not going to reveal that part of what it is. But it's like Rumya is essentially the opposition to Morgan. If ether and water, they cannot mix, you know. It's not just the fact that they're going to segregate and divide. It's that ether would cease to be viscous. I'm not going to fucking